Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating story. It's got cutting-edge technology, sudden governmental intervention, and frankly, an unprecedented leap forward in what artificial intelligence can actually build for us. We are looking directly at the dramatic return of Anthropic's most powerful model yet, Claude Fable 5.
Right out of the gate, we need to talk about the stakes here because they are high. The source material highlights a very real concern emerging in the tech world right now. You see, when tools this incredibly powerful are suddenly restricted, there's a growing fear of creating an underclass. Basically, people getting left behind because they either never learned how to use these tools or they simply got cut off from accessing them. And you know, for a few weeks, that cutoff was a very high-stakes reality for Fable 5 due to some sudden cybersecurity concerns. Section 1. Banned and Brought Back. The short, dramatic history of Fable 5.
So here is how the timeline actually played out. Anthropic first launched Fable 5 a few weeks ago, but just days later, the US government stepped in and it was yanked offline, just completely vanished. Now, during those offline weeks, Anthropic added a new set of safeguards and sorted things out with regulators. It's worth noting that while they were tuning these new safety checks, the restrictions around serious biological and chemical threats were actually left untouched. Because of this tuning phase, the source notes you might occasionally see completely normal coding requests get flagged for a little while as the system adjusts. But as of yesterday, the model is back online and live for everyone.
Before we look at what it can actually do, let's quickly cover the logistics of how you get your hands on it. If you're on a paid plan, you have access to Fable 5 through July 7th, up to about half your usual weekly limit. After that, you either top up with credits or switch models. Now, importantly, Anthropic also just launched Claude Sonnet 5 alongside it. This is a cheaper, everyday alternative that hits Opus 4.8 level performance on most tasks, but runs at less than half the price. It's a fantastic backup. But today, for this explainer, we are strictly putting the massive capabilities of Fable 5 to the test.
Section 2. The Agentic Coding Shift, redefining what AI can do.
So, the crucial point is understanding this jargon. Agentic coding. It sounds a bit intimidating, right? But it really just means this. The AI builds the software, actually runs it, checks if it works, fixes whatever is broken, and keeps going completely on its own until the entire job is done. It doesn't just write better code. It acts as an autonomous worker that finishes the job without needing you to constantly hold its hand.
Think about the old way we used AI. It was kind of like having a really smart friend who hands you a paragraph of code and just walks away. Whatever happened next, all those annoying hair-pulling bugs, well, that was your problem. The new way, instead of asking a chatbot for code for a login page, you ask for a working login page. It writes the code, opens it, notices a button is broken, fixes that button itself, and literally only stops when you have a fully functional page sitting right in front of you. And look, this isn't just marketing hype. The benchmark that real professional developers care about is called SWE Bench. Picture a giant pile of real, complex bugs pulled from actual real-world software. The only question on this test is how many of these bugs the AI can fix entirely by itself. Fable 5 fixes more of them than any model that has ever come before it, period. This proves it can genuinely do a developer's job.
Section 3. The Master Prompting Method, the Skill Playbook.
Now, to get these developer-level results, you can't just talk to Fable 5 the way you talk to older models. You need a specific playbook. And the creators at Anthropic actually published an official guide on exactly how to prompt it. The source material outlines a brilliant, simple three-step method. Step 1, you take that entire official guide and save it as a reusable skill, basically a built-in helper. Step 2, you stop struggling to write prompts. You just tell that helper your idea in plain English, and it writes the perfect, guide-approved prompt for you. Step 3, you paste that perfect prompt into Claude Code and type /goal. That single command turns your prompt into an end-to-end job with an autonomous to-do list for the AI to follow.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 4, 3 impossible AI challenges, the revelation.
Okay, let's see what this agentic capability actually looks like when we push it to the absolute limit in the real world. We are throwing 3 impossible challenges at Fable 5. Challenge number 1, creating Apex City. This is a fully playable, Grand Theft Auto-style 3D web game. Normally, building something like this, you're hiring a studio, 3D artists, programmers, spending months of work and tens of thousands of dollars just to get a rough prototype. With Fable 5, the entire game was built using a single AI helper prompt. The AI created the files, built the world, and checked its own work, entirely hands-free. Just think about what the AI managed to build entirely on its own as a local browser game. You get a full 3D open-world city, you can walk up to a car, press a button, and start driving, complete with engine sounds and animations. If you clip a pedestrian, wanted stars appear, police chase the car, and crashes actually trigger fire mechanics. It built a world you are completely inside of. It's absolutely wild.
Now, there is a crucial metric we have to highlight right here: 0. That is the number of manual bug-fixing rounds needed. In the developer world, doing something perfectly on the very first try is called a one-shot. Fable 5 one-shotted a playable GTA clone. 0 rounds of a human having to go back and forth to fix broken code. That is exactly what makes this feel like an entirely new category of tool.
Moving right along to challenge number 2, Voxelcraft. This is a fully working Minecraft clone. And remember, the exact same 3-step prompting move we talked about earlier was used here. The helper wrote the prompt, it was dropped into Claude Code with the /goal command, and the AI was just let loose to build. Literally, the only thing that changed was the plain English request.
And the level of detail it achieved is just staggering. The terrain has breakable dirt and grass blocks, there's a fully working inventory bar running along the bottom. When you interact with the wandering sheep and pigs, they actually drop items. It even properly renders moving water physics. I mean, rendering moving water and managing entity logic for animals, those are massive headaches in normal game development. But Fable 5 handled all of these complex interacting systems perfectly. And again, in one shot. Okay, let's shift gears entirely here, from game development over to creative agency work. Challenge 3 was to create a clean, 30-second, Apple-style commercial for the unreleased iPhone 18. Now, this is a massive test because of the extreme constraints placed on the AI. There was no script provided, no specs were designed, no instructions on pacing or what to say. The AI was given exactly one thing: a single leaked photo of an iPhone 18. That's it. Go.
And this brilliantly illustrates the model's intuitive creative leaps. From that single photo, Fable 5 invented a beautiful 3D spinning phone animation. It autonomously picked impressive-sounding specs like 48-megapixel fusion and 2 nanometer. It completely controlled the dramatic pacing of the fading text on the screen, and it even gave itself an ending nobody asked for, resolving onto an iOS home screen featuring an Apple Intelligence notification. It literally understood the feel of an Apple ad with 0 human creative direction.
Section 5. The Idea-Person Era. A paradigm shift.
You know, the paradigm shift really comes down to this core idea. You become the person with the idea, and the model becomes the one who builds it. The technical barriers that used to stand between having a concept in your head and having a working product on your screen are dissolving right in front of us. Whether it's a complex video game or a high-end commercial, the execution side of the equation is now largely automated.
Which leaves us with this final thought. Now that agentic AI can take a plain English prompt, plan the job, write the code, fix its own bugs, and deliver a finished product completely on its own, what's your next big idea? It is an incredibly empowering time to be a creator. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I highly encourage you to take these insights, look at the structured methods we've discussed today, and test this incredible technology out for yourself.